Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday Fun Day.
Super Bowl Sunday.
It is Super Bowl Sunday.
Who's going to be the winner? Who's going to be the winner?
How you guys doing? Welcome to Madam Mayor's
Hello,
Adventures.
everybody.
This is our Sunday live stream.
Whoop, whoop. Hope everybody had an awesome week. It's
Yes.
finally Sunday.
Yeah.
The best day of the week, I think.
Yes,
Because you get to spend time with God,
Yeah.
and then you get to spend time with your peeps. So it's a win-win.
It's stress-free. Sundays are usually very stress-free, other than preparing for the live, because we take notes because we like to be prepared to know what our topics that we want to talk about.
Oh, you're so studious.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in any kind of order, but they're just
You should be wearing some glasses and such.
Yeah, maybe. Not yet, though. I'm not blind. Blind in one eye, but not the other.
Well, hopefully that'll never happen. I'm still trying to grow out my bangs here, and they're really annoying me. Half the time I have them barretted down on my head because they're at that point where they're always stabbing you in the eyeball.
Yeah, she's trying to grow them out, and so she's always thinking
It's annoying.
They need messed with, but I think they look fine.
It's annoying, but hopefully they hurry up and grow past that little bit. Sometimes in the past when they've been growing them out, you get annoyed and just cut them, but I'm not going to do it this time because I hate cutting my bangs.
We were able to spend some time outside this week up until really today. It really got cold today for some reason.
I know this weather is just crazy, but it was a beautiful week.
Mm-hmm.
There was some more rain, especially last night. It rained a lot.
Yeah, we're supposed to get between 5 and 8 inches of rain over the next week. If I'm reading the weather reports right, I hope that changes. That's a lot of rain.
Maybe we should start building our own ark.
Yeah, maybe. The good thing about rain here is that this house seems to handle the rain really well. I keep the gutters clean, which was something we did this week. We blew all the gutters out, and so they're clean. And the rain has somewhere to go instead of up over the edge of the gutter, which is not good. So, yeah, I think, and we're on a hill too, so all the rain kind of goes downhill. It doesn't sit in the yard and pool up. But,
Stop looking at yourself.
Oh, all right.
I have the laptop open to look at comments, so sometimes it's very distracting.
It can be very distracting. It is. So the camera's like right above the laptop, but the laptop is distracting. But
Squirrel.
But yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, though. I'll try to be more cognizant.
Maybe I'll hang a little note over here like, hey, look here.
Yeah, some red light flashing or something.
It's always hard, too, when you're filming, when you see the picture of yourself or you don't see. So sometimes you need to look past it and act like you're talking to somebody or act like your camera is somebody.
Right. Or sometimes you're just checking to see, what they see to make sure, you're checking your hair. Well, not in my case, it's not hair.
You better fix your hair. And makeup. Brett needs you.
I'm using hair as an example. Like to kind of make sure you don't have, a booger hanging out your nose or something,
Okay.
Another example.
TMI. And I'm just going to drink my nice cup of hot chaga tea. Thank you again, Jason. Still drinking my chaga. Love it.
Yeah. It's good for you, too. Antioxidants. Very good for you.
So good.
So what have you guys been up to? Are you guys anxious to see the Super Bowl? Do you have a favorite team? Punch a 1 in the chat. We'll do a little survey. Punch a 1 if you're for the Chiefs. Punch a 2 if you're for the Eagles. Punch a 3 if you don't care.
I saw the survey on the news one day this week, and it was saying that more people are interested in seeing the commercials and the ads than the game. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting.
That is crazy.
But then I also saw a post about
I see a lot of Eagles.
Elon Musk is going to be having some commercials that he paid for himself.
Yep.
About the Doge and the money wasted. So maybe people are just interested to see those commercials and find out how much money has been wasted for what ridiculousness.
Yeah, it's been all over the news. I think it's on every channel now that, all this waste, millions, billions of dollars, even how much is being wasted on overseas for projects that never got started.
I think it's so sad when we have homeless people, when we have veterans that need help,
Yeah.
when we have such mental health illness and drug addictions and all these things that should be taken care of here on our soil, that they're just sending the money essentially into a trash can because it's not
Yeah.
even getting used for what they thought it was getting
Right.
used or said it was getting used for. But even if it was getting used for those things, what about here? What about the problems here? So that is what upsets me to find out about all this money being wasted. And I think it's wonderful that they're finding this out. And no matter what side you sit on, I think Americans should be happy that this transparency
Yeah.
is happening,
Mhm.
and to know that we should have more money now to concentrate on our problems.
Yeah. Elon makes these little, I think they're neat. They're little tiny houses.
They are neat.
Some of them are 10,000 for the more futuristic ones with all the gee whiz buzzles. And then he's got a simple, what do you call it? Like a tiny house on a trailer that are under $7,000.
I mean, think of what they could do.
That got me to thinking, what if you took millions and billions of dollars that's being wasted and you create a homeless camp that's no longer homeless? Like it can be thousands of acres and you just build a huge community of people in need. Now you need to vet the people. You need to vet them. There needs to be a list and whatnot.
Well, there also needs to be programs to help these people, counseling and different programs.
The whole gamut.
Because if you don't help them, they're never going to be able to change their situation.
But this would be better, taking them off the street and putting them in a home.
Well, of course, it's better for everybody because the homeless problem with them being on the streets, you have them using the bathrooms in the streets. So what kind of problems does that cause for everybody?
Yeah, it's a health problem.
It's a problem for everybody.
Yeah.
But you could even set up little communities or villages for the victims of domestic violence, for the women and children and even men, I know. And it would just change so many things. You could do that. I mean, there's so much innovation and there's so many smart people in our country and there's so much money in our country. Why are we not taking care of these things? It just floors me. There should be no problems like this.
Right.
So I, for one, think every American should be upset to find out that this is where their money has been going. And they should congratulate the people that are uncovering it, and they should stand behind these people to make some great changes for our country and the people in it. Because if you don't fix your problems here, what good are you to the rest of the world? It's like when you're on a flight and they say to put your oxygen mask on first before you try to help other people. Because if you pass out, what good are you to the people around you? So make this country solid and fix the problems here, and then you can venture out and help even more because you have such a solid foundation here of thriving people. So it allows for even more help across the globe. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, not just for the homeless, but also for people that come into catastrophes. Like I see people in the chat talking about
the
North Carolina, the hurricanes. So it could be a transient home for them until they rebuild.
Yeah, and the point is to help people up. You're not giving handouts, but you're helping them up.
Yeah, it's a hand up, not a handout.
I always said growing up, I never understood why with food stamps and all those things, why aren't people required to do like community hours and services when they get these things?
Yeah,
they
not
should
just free stuff. But
they should have to volunteer
something,
and do some
service.
Community service for these things. Because if you just continue to give a handout, now I know there's elderly people who can't do some of those things, and those are exclusions with health and the elderly.
And so there'd be a team of people that would have to vet these people and set them in categories of what they can do, how they can be helpful, what they can contribute.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to contribute.
But we should be always helping each other and making sure your neighbor is thriving and we are all each other's neighbors. So that's it gets to me because I think that it can be so simple to solve these things. So
Yeah.
I, for one, am super happy that finally things are getting uncovered, and I'm excited to see what the future holds, what we can fix with these people that are so smart and have such resources working together.
Yeah, you don't have to be a Trump fan. You don't have to be an Elon Musk fan. But I must give some accolades to Elon for what I've seen that he's doing so far. And he has a creative mind, and so he's able to come up with ideas. And that's all you really need from Americans is, hey, I got an idea. What do you think? And put it out there. And if it gets shot down, so what? I mean, even Elon Musk had some failures. I don't know what they are, but
Well,
I guarantee you he had some failures before he had success.
everybody has failures. That's your failures are where you learn.
That's how you learn. That's how you grow.
So you should actually welcome some failures. Otherwise, you're not learning anything. Nobody knows everything, but if you have failures and you can admit that you have failures, you'll surely learn from your failures and have something good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we were able to do some pressure washing this week, and we'll get some video
since it was warmer
out on that probably later this week. But the deck looks amazing when we got all the algae and all the green off of the wood and the black mold off the wood.
I can't believe what a difference it made.
It's like a whole different set of decking, stairs. We did the whole thing. So now we need to paint, but before we can paint, it's got to warm up some.
Yeah, this weather's got to figure itself out.
Yeah, Mother Nature is kind of.
Brett's talking about painting the deck the same color as the house.
We're also talking about maybe the deck being a natural color. And
I thought it should be a natural color and then just do the handrails in the blue, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, not sure what's
We'll probably go with what the boss says.
Oh, that's the boss.
Don't let him fool you.
Normally we discuss an idea and we throw it back and forth. And if we can't come up with a compromise, then we just leave it alone. We table it and then we come back to it. Because usually one of us will.
We just do what he says.
No, we don't. Usually one of us, normally me, will concede like on the fact whether it's natural wood or we go with the painted wood. I have a preference, but it's a slight preference. Like it doesn't really matter. I think either.
I was hoping they'd have some kind of paint sale for President's Day, but all I see happening is mattresses and couches are on sale. And we don't need none of those anymore.
We don't need those things anymore, right? It's
but
crazy.
Like a 5-gallon bucket of that stain is $250.
Hey, Wilburns, I just saw that. Happy anniversary to you guys. Great.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yep, I just caught that.
Love is in the air because you know it is Friday.
Love is across the pond.
Ooh.
They live right across the pond here.
Love across the pond. Yeah, Friday is Valentine's Day for all you lovers.
Yep. We're going to be in Murfreesboro for Valentine's Day because we have an eye doctor appointment. This is just her annual exam. She wants to get, fine-tune her eyes.
Well, I would like to get a new pair of glasses because these glasses have these nose pieces. I've had these same frames for, probably 8 years, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I just tell them to keep using the same ones. I'd use them again still if these nose pieces weren't bothering me so much. I think I just want to get
the nose pieces changed.
A pair without, or maybe I'll just get the nose pieces changed. We'll see, but they've been good frames. And
they look good on you.
I've had them forever, but I don't see the reason to change them out every year. They cost so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You'd think they were cooking me dinner.
I wear glasses too, but they can't correct the vision in this eye. So it's only this eye they can correct.
Maybe you need a pirate patch.
And it's really, I'm more nearsighted with that eye. So I usually just drive them, use them to drive, but not if I'm on roads that I know so much because I know the roads already. But, and I can see like far enough. Sometimes it's blurry, but you can make out what the sign is and you know what it says. But like if we're in the RV traveling, we're going through towns and cities that we don't know, then
Buckle
I'll wear
up, baby.
them. I'll wear them because I need to see the
Buckle up.
instructions, in case there's something I need to know, I need to get over.
I
So
just always
like to
think
have
I
that
might
notice.
an amusement park on a roller coaster ride. You never know what's going to happen.
I'm not blind. I can see. It's just blurry at a distance. And I like to bring it in so I can read it more clearly and make decisions sooner in areas where I'm not used to driving. So that's what that is.
Mm.
Are you ready to dive into this stuff?
I thought you were going to tell everyone what you were getting me for Valentine's Day. No?
Oh, we're going to go out to lunch somewhere, but we don't know where yet.
Ooh.
We're looking at a new kitchen sink faucet too, and it happens to be in Murfreesboro. So if it
Romance.
hasn't,
I'm going to get a new faucet for the kitchen
if
sink.
it isn't sold between now and then. We're always looking for stuff on a budget.
I got these beautiful,
the roses.
These beautiful roses. So thank you, Forever Roses.
And if I haven't, I think I've said it once before, but for those of you that don't remember, it's like a small mock loom. It's not a working loom. It just looks like a loom. It's got the Granger family on it. And I got that when I was in Turkey, stationed there in, oh my goodness, about 1987 or so, 88. I got that. I think I paid $20 for that. And I had given it to my dad. He's since passed away, and my stepmother kind of gave it back to me. So it's on the mantle.
Is that your good segue away from the romance?
Well, it's got some history. I think it's pretty cool.
He's very good at changing subjects. You see.
And I like homes with character. We've been in new homes, and this one's an older home. But the home with character, as it evolves and you start doing little projects with it and you're getting it more to your liking, it becomes it transitions from house to home. And I think there's a lot of quirks about this house that even the sellers.
Well, there's probably quirks about almost every house, really.
The sellers even kind of had it. In fact, she kind of said that they thought the house might be a hard sell because of some of the quirks. And some of those quirks are real narrow bedroom doors. Like they're barely wider than my shoulders. I think that's a little unusual. The front door is pretty narrow too. Like all the doors are pretty narrow. None of them are 36 inches wide. I think they're 32 inches wide. And the doors for the bedrooms are really narrow. I don't remember what they are, but it's under 30 inches.
Maybe Heather. You might be right.
It's quirky. But things that I love about it, I love this fireplace. I love the wood. I love the ceiling. It's all wood. Everything's wood. I don't know. I like it. It's quirky, but in a good way. The kitchen's really small, but that's okay. Everything about the house is small. The whole house is small, but there's only two of us. So we don't really have to entertain anybody else. We don't have kids that aren't already gone. So that's
and he'll probably visit once a year, if even, because he lives kind of far away in Fargo.
Yeah.
It'd be great if they moved here, but
yeah. And
who knows?
My kids are all too busy doing whatever they're doing. So, and they're in different states too. So, not expecting them to drive.
You know how it is when kids get older and move away and they're busy living their own lives, and the world will busy you up. If you don't live very near, then you don't see each other that much. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy wants to know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl.
My gut feeling, I think the Eagles are going to win it.
That's what I'm saying, the Eagles.
And I have a slight
fly like an eagle.
I really don't care. I'm a Washington fan.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of either team myself, but I say Eagles.
I have reasons for being a Washington fan that I don't like the Eagles, but setting that aside, just looking at the Eagles and the Chiefs, I like the running back for the Eagles, and I hope good things for him. He's a good person, and that's kind of where I go with that. I don't know much else about them. Jalen Hurst a little bit, but I'm kind of tired of the whole Patrick Mahomes saga and everything that goes with that with Taylor Swift. I'm just tired of all that. Like, I don't care about that stuff. It wasn't interesting to start with, and it certainly isn't interesting a year later. We're still talking about it. So the Eagles, but slightly. So if KC wins, I don't care. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Some people say it's all rigged anyway.
I hope it's a competitive game, and I hope the referees don't determine the outcome. That's my hope. So I hope it's a close game. I hope it's competitive. I hope it comes down to the final drive, and I hope the better team wins, and I hope the refs don't give it away.
I hope people have fun with their friends.
That's it.
Enjoying good food and good times.
And I hope the halftime show is better than I think it's going to be. I'm not expecting much. It's not my.
I hope it's better than 2020.
It's not my scene.
I really wish they'd bring back some good old groups.
Older groups.
Some of the newer stuff is very lacking.
Like Foreigner, Chicago. Yeah, is that too far back?
I don't know.
You know,
there's different stuff for everybody.
Yeah, I think.
What about some Metallica?
I think Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson and Prince. I think they all had good halftime shows. Among some of the best that I remember, The Who was good.
I think it'd be great if they'd have the Beastie Boys on there
Really?
singing some Brass Monkey.
Brass Monkey. Really, it'd be entertaining. It'd be entertaining, but not groups that have to cuss every 3 words. I mean, come on, that's not intellectual. I like it to convey. I like it to be uplifting, But
I
hey,
like to understand what they're saying. Some of these new ones, you can't even understand what they're saying. Yeah. And have you ever noticed some of them, if they don't have their electronics and they just had to sing without all the extra, I can't think, I'm having a brain fart, what that's called, but they really don't.
Like the synthesized voices?
Yeah, they really don't have the real skill that you used to not be able to fake. So
the singing without backup.
Not just that, but there's some other terminology that I'm just brain farting on and I can't think of at the moment. But well,
maybe it'll be better than I think. I'm always open to.
Well, thank you, Tim. I love you guys too.
And it's only like a 10 or 15 minute show, so I can give them 15 minutes of my life, I guess. But get my attention right away. I hope it's patriotic.
Yeah, and someone says it's gotten really trashy, and I agree with that. I don't really understand why people have to get half naked to sing. Is that the only way you can get attention? Do you really have no skill? I mean, a lot of these people are beautiful. Why can't you just dress normal? You've got the skills. Why do you have to be up there like a stripper?
What singer was that?
I don't get it.
I can't remember his name. The singer that had his wife on the red carpet this week, and she was naked. Oh. She had a coat and took it off, and I don't know.
Was that Kanye?
Yeah, I think so. But is that appropriate? Is that the right place for that? I mean, I don't question. Well, I kind of question what they're doing. I question where they're doing it.
Auto-tune. Thank you, Amy.
Auto-tune, yeah.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah. Now I see everybody in there. Auto-tune. Thank you, guys. That was what I was.
Yeah, everybody's saying auto-tune. Acapella.
That's what I couldn't get. I had that brain fart going on. But yeah, so many people use the auto-tune that they don't really have to have the great skill and talent that you once had to have because you couldn't fake it.
Right.
So, but I love older music. I love so many different genres. But some of this new stuff, nah. I'll pass.
Okay.
We're
going to get into the bulk of my notes here.
Oh.
We went back.
Do you want to borrow my glasses?
I can see them. I just don't know how well I can speak them.
I can see clearly now. The rain is
We're going to get into some of the.
I need auto-tune.
I can't sing at all, so I'm not even going to try. Some comments that have been made. Now, so we normally don't respond to this.
You mean all the people that love to talk about us, that
and we're
don't
not
know
even,
jack about us?
And we're not even involved.
We're not even there.
Really.
We're not even involved.
We don't talk it, but we're going to talk a little bit.
We rent space in their heads, they're obsessed, apparently. Obsessed.
Yeah. So I am going to speak to some of it because it's just disconcerting and it's just melodramatic and it's just, I don't get it.
It's a shameful tactic to create content.
That's
for
all
views,
it is. That's all
what
it
is
is
in
correct.
A nutshell.
Yeah. And if they really wanted to investigate the truth or find out the truth,
they can't handle the truth.
They probably can't.
Don't you love that movie?
So we'll get to hear more about what we're saying today because, but anyway, it is what it is.
It's windy outside.
We've come to expect it. But some of these things we just kind of wanted to add a little more to it. Like they're half truths or they're not truths at all. Like they're crazy. So we'll just start at the top of the list. It's not in any particular order. So we're kind of going to jump around.
He keeps asking me real quick, why in the first place didn't these people who are trying to say that they are unbiased and they're uncovering the truth and blah, 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 why didn't they come to the certain parties and ask them in the beginning about it? And I said, because they didn't want the truth.
They don't want the truth.
They never wanted the truth. They're just making up drivel content. And at this point, who would talk to them anyway? Because it's clear to see what they're doing and it's clear to see what they know and don't know. And it's all complete garbage.
So we'll start with Madam Mayor's Adventures. The title, the name, Madam Mayor. Well, she's not a mayor. She's barely a mayor, quote unquote. Barely a mayor. I didn't know you could be barely a mayor. I thought you could either be mayor. You
either are or you aren't.
Or you're not. It's not. It's a black
I'm not
and white.
Now.
You're not now. That's correct. And some people might question, well, why are you doing the Madam Mayor? So let me explain the Madam Mayor Adventures thing. Nothing else really came to mind about an adventure channel. We wanted to do a travel channel. So adventures relates to travel. And it will go well with our travel plans because of the tax exemptions that can be created with the LLC and forming an LLC and having a YouTube channel. So that's kind of where it all started. Then we kind of went from there. Well, even after she was when she was mayor, but outside the office, people still called her Madam Mayor just because the name kind of stuck. And then when we didn't plan on, it was a short stint. She was in there for about 8 months, right? Maybe 7 months, 7 or 8 months,
something like that.
Because she was in Israel when the switchover was supposed to change, and they waited a month. And they did it in May, I think, or June, May or June. So yeah, maybe it was only 7 months. So then Florida decided to come out with the
Form 6.
Form 6. Thank you. The word form was eluding me. The Form 6.
Brain farts are happening.
Which means you needed to divulge all of your financials, and she wasn't about it. So she put in a resignation letter. Well, that wasn't our plan. Our plan was to stay there, at least do the 2-year term, see if we finished the park, but everything moved on a very fast timetable. So the selling of the park wasn't an absolute. What we did is I Google searched, RV park sales, and Parks and Places came to the top of the list. And so I clicked on it and there was a number there and I called her, and the lady actually, I think the name was Lisa or Linda or something like that. And she convinced me. She goes, "Where's your park?" She goes, "Wait a minute, before we get started, where is your RV park?" I said, "It's in Florida." She goes, "Oh, easy. We've been in business 45 years and not yet have we not sold an RV park in Florida." I'm like, "Well, that's encouraging." So it was just kind of a, let's see where it's at. And if it doesn't create us enough money to retire and travel like we want to, then we'll just wait and work in, an extra couple years and then see where it's at then. It just kind of all fell into place. It wasn't really planned. It kind of just fell into place. And so it ended up being a short stint, but she felt like the board was in a good place. Zim, was in line to succeed her in the mayorship. Now, she didn't have any choice in who became mayor. The board votes that, but he was vice mayor for a while with an empty seat as mayor. So, well, the rest of how the rest of it went. We didn't plan it. It just happened that way. And so the title, Madam Mayor, so now it's just the name of a channel and she's not the mayor.
Someone says, wasn't Jeremy the first one to call you Madam Mayor?
Probably.
I believe so.
Probably.
I believe so.
So the name just kind of stuck because we just kind of thought it was a cute name, Madam Mayor, Madam Mayor. So it's not about being mayor. It's about having been mayor in your future adventures. So we can call the channel whatever we want. We can call it, I don't know, Betty's lamp.
I mean, people
Adventures,
do that.
but that wouldn't make any sense.
People name stuff, certain stuff, any
Right.
day of the week.
Yeah, it's just a name. So now it's just a name.
But
that
the
kinda
only
stuck. We
people
liked
who
it.
ever say anything about it are the haters anyway. So
Mhm.
who cares?
So I wanted to explain that not quite mayor. That was one of the comments. I was like, what? I laughed at that and going, what does not quite mayor mean?
I mean, all of it.
Sorry. Got some phlegm.
You need a mute button. You're
Yeah.
starting to sound like those people.
I do. Doing a lot of talking, so it's bringing up stuff.
But it's very sadly hilarious drivel that they come up with, because most of it just so far-fetched you can't help but laugh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so ridiculous, and it's really sad that you don't just come up with some content of your own rather than keep talking about the same stuff that happened so long ago
or more
that didn't even really happen. You're just rehashing the crap that Lynette said, and it was crap then and it's crap now, but you're going to talk about it this week and then let 2 weeks go by, and it's just like, it's like on this rotating cycle. Okay, we're done with that for this week. Let's shelve that and we'll come back to 2 weeks and pick that up, because I'm still boring as heck and I have nothing to say. So I'm going to talk about these people that I'm completely obsessed with.
Renting space in their head.
That's what it boils down to, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's dispel some myths. Were you ever in the town hall at 3 a.m?
Heck no.
Ever?
I'm in bed at 3 a.m. If I was up at 3 a.m, it's because I'm traveling out of state and I had to catch a flight, which I'm just making something up because I don't book flights at 3 a.m, or there's some kind of emergency situation. But that's the only reason I'd ever be up at 3 a.m. I couldn't even tell you the last time I was up that late. If I was laying awake in bed.
So 3 a.m, let's not just say
no,
not there at 3, because then they say, okay, well, wait, maybe it was 2. No, it wasn't. Neither of us have ever been in that building outside of nothing later than what a normal meeting would take. So those meetings were at 7. They usually, some of them would run to 8, 8:30 latest.
When I had meetings, they were longer than what they are these days.
Right. So you could safely say we've never been in that building past 9 o'clock at night and never earlier than 7 a.m. Is that pretty safe to say?
Yep.
That's well outside any 3 a.m.
But the first thing, let's put all that aside with the times and the this and the that. What is it that we were supposedly doing at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Right.
Removing files and hard drives from the town hall is what they said we were doing. Why on God's good green earth would I be removing the evidence from the previous administration's wrongdoings?
Yeah, that in itself.
Why would I do that? Does that make any sense? Let's use our brains here for a minute. And please tell me why I would remove the things that would have the information that makes the other administration accountable for wrongdoings.
Maybe you were taking toner for your printer, which our printer didn't use toner anyway, it used ink.
Those files and that information was removed by Russell Meeks in the back of his pickup truck.
During daylight hours.
During daylight hours. He was spotted filling up his truck.
And there's video.
And there's video of it, and taking it out of town. Yes. Now, one pickup truckload may have been to Mary's house with her too many belongings that she had at the town hall.
But there was more than one truckload.
But why, if you were removing Mary's things, was there still Mary's things in the town hall?
Right.
So let's use our brains for a minute here and have some common sense, because there was missing bank documents. There was missing audio files in there from previous times when they were having their meetings before I was on the board. Why would I remove those things?
Some of the hard drives.
Oh yeah, and they said we removed the hard drives
The
out of the
hard
building.
drives-
All the hard drives that were removed from the old computers that were disposed of were retained, and they are still in town hall.
They're still there.
And they'll be there till the end of time, because that's what you're supposed to do with them. You catalog them and you keep them. But the old shells of the computers were discarded, and there was even 1 or 2 hard drives that were corrupt, so you couldn't even get any information off of them. So and again, all these things were from before I was ever on the board, so why would you
and all this happened
mess
like
around with any of that stuff
right when you got in there? Like this was all like right when you got in there, like the
but it would surely make sense of why it was loaded into the back of Mr. Meek's pickup truck and removed from there.
Yeah, that makes sense,
because it was
incriminating
during
evidence.
that time of his mayorship. So.
And he didn't hand over the keys willingly. He threw them at you, if you remember. And he said, "Run with it." And he tossed them at
he was never very nice.
No, he even said, "Sue us." Well, he got sued. He might happen again, and it's happened before. So this is just
yeah. And they said Jeremy was with us at 3 a.m. as well, and we've never hung out with Jeremy at 3 a.m.
We've never hung out with Jeremy at the town hall, other than hours when it was open.
Yeah, during meetings or when it was open
the
to
clerk was there,
everybody.
Other people were there. Deanna was working. I think that's when he was in there. But
that's the only time.
Open hours.
Same time as anybody else in the town or
and
anywhere else in the world.
And to say that he doesn't have any business there, he's a resident like everybody else. He has the same business there as everybody else.
Right.
There was nothing,
well, you don't have to live in the town even to walk through those doors.
Right. It's a public building.
So.
Walk through the door.
Seriously?
Just like the courthouse. That's a public building. Go walk through the door. That's it. So, anyway, I think we covered several things.
I mean, I think it's even sad that some old man sits in his garage talking about us when he's never even stepped foot in Otter Creek.
He's never seen any of the people of Otter Creek, and we've never met him. So
he just wants some views too.
That's it. Sits in his garage and just talks to himself. I mean, I don't get it. And when it came to the emails, the attorney, Megan, is the one that did all the email stripping.
Yeah, she came into the office and she downloaded any of the emails regarding the public records lawsuit between the town and Jeremy. The lawyer, Megan, came to the office. She downloaded all that information. She sat behind the computer and she did all that. So everything was done in legal fashion.
About a week in there doing that, didn't she? Almost a week.
She was there a couple days.
Oh, a couple days. Huh?
But and I personally never saw what she downloaded to give to him. She did what she needed to do. It was all the legal stuff, and I wasn't part of that. Belinda wasn't part of that. Deanna wasn't part of that. We paid her to come in and do her job.
And she did. And she passed off those public records to Jeremy's lawyer at the time.
Right. So it was between the lawyers.
Lawyer to lawyer. Yeah.
And again, it's all public records. So
it's public records.
No secrets.
You can ask for them too.
I mean, seriously. But some people thought that they should get them for free at the time too, because Jeremy paid for them, and it was just a bunch of ridiculousness. But the fact of the matter is, it's all public records. All those public records should have been supplied when they were asked for. And again, if they had a website where they uploaded their ordinances, their minutes, their agendas, there wouldn't even need to be a reason to request any public documents. Because if you go to surrounding towns like Bronson and Chiefland and probably lots of towns all across the nation, you will see that they are online, their ordinances. And they've done that. It is expensive to do, which you can usually get a grant to help you do that. But it is a lot of work to get it done, and it does cost a lot of money, but everything is right up there. If anybody has a question, they can just log onto their computer for free look up all the public records and it's right there. Then they don't have to request anything from the clerk, and everything is transparent and right there for everyone to view. And it makes life easy for everybody.
Sure.
So I do wish at some point in the future, the town would do that. Especially the simplest part would be the website with the agenda and the minutes. I know the ordinances is much more involved.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, they just need to rewrite most of them anyway.
Right.
But that's a whole nother story. But they could start with the simple part of just putting those on the website and then just start streaming the meetings on YouTube and just make everything easy. It's not that difficult.
No.
I wish they would be able to do that. And I'm sure there's even people in the surrounding towns that have offered to help with that.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep that in my prayers that they do that, because it just would make everything so much better.
And we've said some of this before, so we're just kind of reiterating. So our story doesn't change. It's the same story, and it is fact. Now, if there's something we're not sure about, we'll say, hey, we're not really sure about this, but that, we'll say it. Why? We don't gain anything by lying to anybody. We gain nothing.
Nope. And again, God sees everything.
He sees it all.
He knows what's going on, and he's the only one at the end of the day that's important.
Right.
So if I can't lie to him and I can't hide stuff from him, why would I bother with anybody else?
Yeah.
So transparency and truth, there's no need to lie. There's no reason.
Yeah. So that brings us to our next thing. At the campground, we're going to jump subjects a little bit. At the campground, it has been alleged that we were, and this ain't the first time I'm hearing this. I'm hearing this.
This makes me laugh.
This is old too. This is a year.
It's all old. I mean, there's nothing new. They're just rehashing. It's the cycle.
So, do you remember giving people free rent in exchange for their vote?
Never did
Highly
anybody
illegal.
receive free rent.
And guess what?
Yeah, that is highly illegal. Besides,
I have all the receipts.
Right.
I have to keep them.
Receipts? You got receipts?
I've got actual receipts. Yes.
That is the most ludicrous thing I have heard. Oh my gosh. Nobody's getting free nothing.
There was probably, I could probably figure it out. We had between 13 sites and 24 when we were fully expanded, but we had expanded in small pockets of three or four sites at a time. So we may have had 50 people in there, 60 people at one time, because sometimes at one site you have 2 or 3 people. I've kind of lost my thought what I was saying. But so between 50 or 60 people, and I'm estimating here, how many votes do you think we got out of the entire campground, including ourselves? Do you remember?
I want to say roughly somewhere around 19.
That's
been a while, but I want to say roughly that.
So about 19
about
votes.
Number.
2 of those are our votes. So 17 votes. A lot of people don't vote. A lot of people have residency in other states, so they don't vote.
And a lot of people just don't like to get involved in anything.
That's the vast majority of the ones that didn't vote were the ones that just don't want to get involved. So to say that we were given free rent for votes is ludicrous. I have all the receipts for all that. It never crossed my mind, hey, can I buy some? Did we need to buy votes? Not really.
No.
I mean, you were pretty popular anyway.
I mean, either you got voted in or you didn't. It's not like that would break my day. I mean,
and remember,
I was there to try to help fix a problem. And there wasn't other people in the town that at the time that wanted to stand up for themselves or the town. So I took it upon myself to be that person to stand up for the people that weren't getting heard and to make a difference and to make a change in that town. It's not like I was there for the $100 a month or 125. I wasn't there for that. It was certainly more of a workload and a headache and caused I mean, I had so many volunteer hours, it was ridiculous. But I was there to help be a voice, make a difference, put a glitch in the matrix, and let the people in the town know that they have a voice and somebody was standing up for them, and to show them what transparency was and to let them know what's been going on in their town. I didn't do it because that was my dream to be a mayor. I want to do the right thing. I wanted to do the right thing because people deserve to have the right thing done and live in a peaceful circumstance. Just like in a country, we deserve to have good things going on, and we deserve to know what's going on with our tax dollars. Same thing in a small town. You deserve those things. And I will stand up for people in those times when they feel they don't have a voice, because I can be loud.
There were like 9 people running for 4 seats. And this time we have that again. I think there's 8 people running for 4 seats. So, excuse me. What made her popular, and she wasn't the only one that got 34 votes. It was Russell also got 34 votes, and he's popular for obvious reasons.
And I can't remember if it was 33 or 34. I don't remember all that because I don't look at these numbers every day of the week.
But
it's been a minute.
It was talked
whatever
about,
the case may be.
And it was Zim. Zim also got 34. So you guys were in a 3-way tie. So one person had more, though. Gail. If you remember Gail.
She had one more.
No, she had like 44.
Was
10
it?
more. Yeah.
Okay.
She had like 44
I
votes.
told you I don't remember the numbers.
But see, Gail,
I just know that she had the most.
So she was the most popular from both sides, because there was some side picking going on. Either you were on Russell's side, or you were on your side or Zim's side. And so she was able to garnish votes from both sides. So she had 44 votes, and that's good for her. It's great. I think the reason Therese was so popular and well known is she did go door to door and talk to residents. And of course, some of them just shunned her, didn't want to talk to her, but that's fine. That's part of it. At least she extended the olive branch. And the second thing was she used to work in the post office there in Otter Creek. So the town already knew her and had a favorable opinion of her. So then when she moved into the town, they already knew who she was. She wasn't a stranger to them. So she wasn't really an outsider. Now, because I was with her, that, or I would have ran for the board, but I wasn't very popular because I will tell people like it is, and people don't like to hear the truth. And so that kind of works against me. She has a better way of presenting the truth where people can disagree but still like her. So she's good at that. So that's why I never ran for a board seat, But I was like, Therese, you need to get on the board. We weren't talking about her being mayor. We were talking about her just getting on the board. The board votes for the mayor, so you don't.
Yeah, I never even thought that.
You don't run for mayor.
I never even had that in my mind.
We didn't think that could happen. We thought it would either be one of the other players, but so it just worked. It just happened that way. So she just took the ball and ran with it. She doesn't run from responsibility. She runs toward it to try to make a change. Now, we hope that the town got set up to do something positive. And now if the rest of the town still doesn't want to participate, doesn't want to get involved, we can't help that. And there's nothing we can say. We said everything we can say.
Yeah, it's their town, and they need to stand up for themselves. There's enough good people in that town where they can have something good, but it's up to them. Now, at this point, I showed them that they can have something different, but they have to participate in order to keep that going. So that's completely up to them. I hope they do, because again, everybody, like I saw in the chat, everybody does deserve to live peacefully. I mean, you have enough problems. You go to work and you got enough problems at work. Don't you want to come home to your house and have peace there? Imagine if you go to work and it's crazy at your work, and then you come home and you live in this crazy town. Where do you ever find any peace?
Yeah. And the park was smack dab in the middle of all the craziness, because, you had Russell creeping by in his truck and looking and gawking and trying to find something to create drama,
Just,
and it's
I've
just it
never
never ends.
I've never
It never
seen
ends.
anything like that with all those behaviors. And
It's weird. There's something in the water there. I don't know what it is, but
very weird.
okay.
Very
So
weird.
there was no exchange of money for votes.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Never in a million years. So
Everybody should know I'm too cheap for that. Come on now.
Debunked. I got the receipt, so I can say debunked. All right. Let's do this one real quick. Okay. There was comments a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if it's still being batted around or not, but I had to laugh about Michelle when Lynette. I'm sorry, I knew her as Michelle. I knew her as Michelle when she was in the campground, and I even wrote Michelle in my notes. But Lynette, as the rest of the world knows her as Lynette.
Well,
So
she's known by many names, so just pick one and roll with it.
I said Michelle, and then I read Michelle because I wrote Michelle because that's she was Michelle to us, right?
Well, that's the way she introduced herself from day one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, so Lynette sent a text message to Zim with some hearts in the background. And I'm supposed to
It wasn't a text message. It was a post on Facebook.
Oh, a post. I'm sorry. See, I didn't even know. And I'm supposed to be jealous of it. One, I'm not jealous of anything that Lynette or Michelle does. I don't care what she does. As long as she doesn't involve me, I don't care. So when that happened, I didn't even know about it, for one. I think Zim told you about it maybe a day or two later.
Yes, because the way it was discovered is Zim is not on Facebook.
No.
So someone had told Zim's wife that there was a post on Facebook with hearts all in the background saying, Zim, can you get in touch with me? I need to use your trailer, something to that effect. And why would anybody post a message like that on Facebook? Wouldn't you just go knock on the man's door? You live right up the road within walking distance to him.
He's like 3 houses down.
Who posts on Facebook something like that? I mean, so people were saying to his wife, hey, what's this lady doing posting on Facebook a message to your husband with hearts all in the background?
Right.
So he had said something about it to me saying, hey, I'm not on Facebook, but people are saying this to my wife. Can you find out what that's about? And so when we had gone over there to talk about the dump trailer that we were supposed to be
right
bringing to Michelle's property to help her when John was in the hospital and she wanted to clean up the property, I asked her, could you please not post those things on Facebook because people are mentioning it to Zim's wife and it's kind of hokey. Why don't you just go knock on the man's door? You shouldn't be posting like that on Facebook. It's not appropriate.
Right.
So that's where all that came from. Brett didn't even know anything about it. And for anybody to be saying that Brett was upset and jealous that she was posting something with hearts to Zim is another insane thing.
I don't even know why you would make that up. Like, what's the point of that?
So, I mean,
I don't understand what the end game is.
The whole thing, they just, again, are making up crap for content. And it's just ridiculous. The truth of the matter is she made this post with these hearts in the background. It raised some suspicions to some friends of theirs.
Didn't she say it was like an accident? She didn't mean to do it, but it was a past.
She said that, yeah, it was an accident and it was already on some of her other stuff. But when you make a Facebook post,
you create a new background, right?
It has suggestions of backgrounds at the time and you pick one or you pick none. So it's not like it's already in there and it's programmed. There could be one that pops up, but you take it off of that. It's not that big a deal. It's not like it automatically just goes up there itself.
Can't default back to that one because it was the last one she may have used?
Well, it can be on there, but you choose to leave it there.
No.
It just doesn't go posting itself. You say, hey, I don't want this on here, and you pick a different box and then you hit the post button.
Well, she doesn't read her messages before she hits send anyway, obviously, because
that's her problem.
That's
but
her
to say it's
problem, yeah.
automatic and this and that is complete garbage. You chose for that background to stay.
Yeah.
Period. If it's that hard to click a button, put your phone down and stop using it. Period. I mean,
so I don't know where that came from.
There's absolutely no accountability there. You blame everything on everybody else, and it just gets a little frustrating. And I try not to this is why I don't like to talk about it, because I get extremely irritated.
Upset. Yeah, this creates a lot of stress.
It brings back a lot of memories of having to live into the town and having to live with all the crap that they caused. And it was not pleasant, and it was not good for my health, and it was nonstop. And it's like you're living in this hell trap with these people just causing you more and more problems. So this is why I don't like talking about any of this, because it's a little much, and it just raises my blood pressure, because it's ludicrous that there's no accountability and these people can just continue to carry on ruining people's lives with no accountability,
or just trying to ruin people's lives.
Why can't they just leave everybody alone, quit talking about everybody, and live their lives?
That's what we decided to do.
And if that town is so horrible, then move.
Leave. You don't have to stay there. Leave. If you're not going to be part of the solution, then stop being part of the problem. Just move. But yeah, I know.
So what I do, I get upset because because it's just wrong, and it's wrong for anybody to have to live under those circumstances, to have to deal with that. We all deserve peace, and I don't know. I live there, so for all the people on the outside who say that these people are in the right and they're not the ones who started anything, and wrong. Wrong.
Yeah. All right. So this brings us down to last topic. And we batted back and forth yesterday about this, whether we were even going to mention this, whether we should mention it, or how much detail we're going to get into, because this is more of a personal matter, and I don't know why anybody would care. But this is my divorce from my previous wife. And so it was stated that I'm a creeper. Creeping on what? There are dockets because the divorce took place in Gilchrist County. Well, it actually took place in Levy County, but Gilchrist was involved. Anyway, so there were some allegations made against me. They were false. The case got dropped. So read the whole thing. Don't read just because when you read these dockets, sometimes it looks like, well, what happened? What happened from the case? He got accused of this. Well, what happened? They don't never post.
You can accuse anybody of anything.
Right. They don't never post the results of any investigation. So I'm here to tell you the results of any investigation was the case was dropped. That's it. There was nothing to it. So, but what I want to say is what was happening in Gilchrist County is my ex-wife, now I had agreed, I'm not going to give a whole lot of details because it's just normal divorce stuff, okay? There's nothing illegal going on.
Very few instances is a divorce pleasant.
Right. I tried to do a pleasant divorce.
It's unfortunate because you think these people at one time loved each other. Why they just can't say, okay, this ain't working out. Can we just split stuff as best down the middle and go our separate ways and try to find some happiness? But feelings and people with hurt feelings often cause a lot of
Here's how the whole divorce started, and you're going to hear it from me one time and then I'm done with it, and then all the haters can watch this on replay. I don't care. Some of this is a matter of public record and some of it's not. I first wanted the divorce. I went to the courthouse in Levy County and got the packet. They have a packet. You can do a $450 filing fee is what it cost at that time to file your own divorce. We actually agreed on the splitting of everything. I'd give her the Jeep, which she had a 2015 four-door Jeep. I'd give her the. I'm not going to give every little detail, but I'm saying, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to split, but we agreed on everything. You take this, you take A, I take B. I even even tossed in a carrot and did there were some options with alimony. Florida can be an alimony state, doesn't have to be an alimony state, and I don't remember all the details. It has been a while, but I agreed to pay 2 years of alimony. But in that time, there's a string attached with this alimony. Okay. She cannot be supported by someone else to collect this alimony. This alimony is designed to be able to give her a chance to get a restart, either get into an apartment or a house or whatever. But I had discovered through a lot of her own online posts, just like that, that she was living with someone else and not paying rent. That's all I'm going to say. So I went back to my lawyer and I'm like, look, I've got proof and tons of proof. I mean, I had a packet of laminated proof that there was a courtship involved and that he was supporting her and she's not paying rent, and that goes against the alimony. Now, why would I care? Emotionally, I didn't care. But did I want to stop the alimony? Sure. If she's breaking the contract, wouldn't you? So that's what happened. So I went back to lawyer talked to lawyer. And again, he conceded with the evidence that I presented. He conceded, and the alimony stopped that month. That was the last day I had to pay alimony. It was 2 years, and I think I was 1 year into the 2 years, somewhere in there. I got a log somewhere. It tells me exactly how many I had paid. But that's what it was about. She violated the contract, so I terminated because she was in an arm's relationship with another gentleman, and I canceled the alimony. That's all it was about. So I just wanted to clear that up. So there's a whole bunch of details there that people aren't going to give you the background, but it was a divorce. It started out friendly, but then, like a woman,
people get greedy.
Like a woman scorned, she wanted to see what more she could get. So that's what it was about. We really had a discussion and differences about the alimony and how long it should be, how much it should be. And so that was the big discussion. And so she went and hired a lawyer. Well, since she hired a lawyer, now I have to hire a lawyer. And the whole thing got really ridiculous.
And who made out the most? The lawyers.
The lawyers, they all won. They had no vested interest in this whatsoever, and they both got a whole bunch of money. So that's what happened there. So whatever you find on Gilchrist County's clerk of courts,
I personally told Brett I wouldn't bother explaining all this because I don't think he owes any explanation of it.
I don't.
But he wanted to, so there it is. It's unfortunate that people are greedy and do fraudulent things. And that kind of sucks, but that's life and you get through it. And if the other person wants to live with those actions and being dishonest, that's on them. That's something they'll have to answer for at some point. And
these are all things. These are all things I can still prove. I think I came across that book somewhere in a box.
Well, at this point, that's a conversation she can have with God when she gets there.
That's right. And I mean, if you who's got proof of that? Well, I do. I got the receipts.
It is what it is.
Then I showed them to the lawyer, and the lawyer showed them to her lawyer, and they decided to cut the alimony. No further penalties.
I just think again, it's sad that
her lawyer probably just said,
can't do the right thing.
Let this go. And had it gone to a judge,
she's another person I've prayed for, and like I said, you have to pray for the wrong people and the bad people, probably even more than the other people, because they need help. So,
and I don't hate her.
I pray for her.
I don't have any.
I pray for the people of those other channels. I'll continue to pray for a lot of the people in Otter Creek. God says to love everybody, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard to forgive people. And it's hard to have that right mindset.
And I don't have any hate for her. I hate what she did, and I don't understand why she did it. She got greedy when she's more well off now than she was. Well, she was more well off with me than she ever was before I met her, and that's a fact. But I don't hate her. I'm in a better place now.
I mean, you really shouldn't hold hate for anybody. Like I said, with the couples, at one point you loved each other. And I think it's sad again when people
It just ran its course.
are breaking up, that they can't be nicer to each other. But again, when you have a broken heart and feelings, then everybody wants to get one over on the other person, and how dare they this and how dare they that. You just stop thinking rationally, and it's sad.
And we had divorce or possible separation conversations before on both parties. We were in Alaska a very long time. I went on many deployments, and we had discussed it then. And then we decided, well, we're going to just, it was a new plan was to sell everything and go to Florida and get a campground, and this is what we're going to do. But in agreement, she had to understand that there was going to be a salary change where I was making, quite a good salary being an officer in the Army over 20 years. And she was also working then with the school district. So we were doing fine. But all that was changing. We're going to Florida now. We're not working. We're building this campground. And long story short is we're going to have to rebuild. So our spending habits need to change. And there needs to be some investment in the building of this property. Now I'm talking sweat equity. I'm not talking cash. I'm talking sweat equity. So I'm going to need everyone's help and doing some of these things. And she fell far short on all of those things. She didn't stop the shopping. She didn't help in the campground. It went on. It went on. It went on. It went on. And it just finally came to a point that, I wasn't in love with her anymore. So I want to move on. This is what I want to do. You don't want to do it. You go do what you want to do, and let me do what I want to do. So it was an agreeable divorce. It wasn't nasty at all. We went through what's it called, mediation. We went through mediation, and we resolved it through mediation. And it never went before. It would have been Judge Thomas's too.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been a mess?
It never went before him, so we solved it in mediation. So we had just that little hiccup with the alimony thing, and then she broke contract with that, and I took it back to the lawyers. Her lawyer probably said, hey, you need to this is a reasonable accommodation. You violated the contract of the agreement of the alimony. You need to just let it be. Because I could have had her reimburse alimony already paid because I had stuff that dated back, but we agreed to just done. And that's how it got left. That's it.
A lot of times in life too, you got to decide what's important. You need to be the right person, or you just need to let things go. Some people fight so hard just for everyone to know that they were in the right. And a lot of times it's just not important.
It wasn't. I really just wanted to
have peace.
The only thing I wanted to do was work in my campground. That's what I loved doing, was outside with the trees and working on the tractor, grading roads, pulling wire, running pipe. I love doing that stuff. It was fun.
For me, peace is very important. So if somebody else needs to feel that they were in the right, have at it, buddy. You're right. No sweat off my back. I'm living in peace, and that's what's important to me.
I was 110% engaged in trying to build my business. It was an old, dumpy campground, and I cleaned it up by taking out almost 100 trees right off the get-go. But then I had to rebuild the campground and expand the campground, and it took a lot of sweat equity and a lot of monetary equity. It was a lot of money put into the campground, bringing it up to what it is today, and to even make it sellable, that somebody would want to drive in there and, oh, this is nice, I'll buy this. We put a new house on the property. It didn't have a house on it. We put the house on the property. So
hi, expert.
Yeah. So that's that whole story, really. I mean, so people were saying, creeping. There was no creeping involved. There was a case, an allegation made, and then dropped. So that's it. And now you know why.
You feel better now?
I feel better now. So now if you want to run with that and talk about that, then have at it.
They will.
Have at it. I have nothing to hide. If you really want to hear all the dirt.
Thank you so much for giving me my next show.
If you really want to hear all the other dirt, then go to another channel and you'll get half-truths, twisted truths, and all kind of other garbage.
Just go to the nursery and buy a bag of dirt and have a nice day.
Yeah. So,
what else you got?
Oh, I think we are near the end.
Maybe people should buy some eggs for their lovely partners
Yes,
for
eggs.
Valentine's
Eggs
Day.
are making a comeback. Eggs are
Since
making
Valentine's Day is around the corner and eggs are like a high roller item, get your lady a dozen eggs or, be a real big baller and go for the 18 pack. So I can't believe how expensive eggs are. Maybe just give some chickens.
Yeah.
Then you can have eggs forever.
Eggs for life.
So there's a little advice for that.
Yeah, you can go buy eggs.
Who needs diamonds?
Or you can teach a man to go get chickens and lay their own eggs.
Omelets can be your best friend.
Yeah.
I love me some eggs.
All right. So guess what we got now?
Oh. Doing a drive-by?
Oh, we have no mail today, so
no mail. Wave at the mailman.
He's gone.
He's going to take an extra long vacation since Monday is not tomorrow Monday, but the following Monday is President's Day.
Right.
So maybe the mailman will just have a longer vacation.
Well, mail carriers hate Tuesdays behind holidays because it's even worse than Mondays. Mondays is the worst day at the post office because all the mail stacks up. Tuesday, it gets even worse when it follows a holiday Monday.
That's right.
So your mail would be a little bit later on Tuesday than it would have been on a Monday.
But not this week, the following week.
The following week, yeah.
And that following week is also the Outer Creek meeting on the 18th. So that should be an interesting meeting.
I wonder if they'll postpone it because of warm weather.
Maybe. It's too hot in Florida. Well, they couldn't have meetings ever then.
We're colder here now than they were there when they canceled it.
But I think there'll be a lot more people at that meeting, in my opinion.
I think there might be.
I think there will be. And they should be announcing who all the candidates are in the election.
That might already be posted. We don't know.
It should be posted, absolutely. But for the people who can't see it on their website,
it's not
like
on the website.
Everybody, then hopefully they'll be announcing it in their meeting. So I do think there'll be a lot more people at that meeting. And that is February 18th.
Mm-hmm. It's always the third Tuesday at 7:00, unless they change it, like last time. Our soapbox segment today. Do we have a soapbox? We always have a soapbox.
Brett always has a soapbox. Believe me,
you'll
I
like
listen
this
to it all week long.
You'll like this soapbox. So this is our soapbox segment. This is where we get a chance to get up on a soapbox and discuss usually it's the irritants of the subject.
$2.50 a dozen, Deborah.
Wow. $2.50 a dozen? That's cheap.
She buys her eggs from a lady that raises chickens. That's a great price.
That's a great price. Send us some eggs. I'm kidding.
Yeah, even here, the lady that sells eggs for $5 for an 18 pack, her chickens are on strike.
They're not laying eggs.
So they're not even laying any eggs.
The cheapest price on eggs we've been able to find around here, and it varies from store to store.
Was about $4.
It's about $4 at the commissary.
For a dozen at the commissary.
Yep.
Aldi was $5.46. I think even Publix was cheaper than Aldi this week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy. They are super expensive here. So all these chickens with the flu, they need to get healthy.
They need to get over it, don't they?
Because eggs are a great source of protein.
So our little soapbox segment before we run into too much overtime is TRICARE. We have TRICARE Prime. Health insurance.
Health insurance.
So what is our little beef with health insurance?
That they don't do anything in a timely fashion.
So with TRICARE Prime, you have to have a primary care manager or a PCP, a primary care provider. Okay. They have to be recognized by TRICARE. It has to be on their little database. And we do have one that is. Now, at first, we weren't too happy with the referral process because that lady was sick. She was out. We weren't really being told that. All we knew is that the referrals weren't happening. So we did call. We did get them to get the referrals out. So we did not.
Good evening, DJ Radis.
We thought we were going to change primary care providers, and we did not change primary care providers because we got the referrals that we needed, and so we moved on. Now, the referrals. you went to see a specialist. You're going to have outpatient surgery.
And they had scheduled my outpatient surgery, but this office has a group of doctors, and the person I usually see is off on maternity leave. So another doctor in the office was going to do the surgery, but they're not
on the list
of providers with TRICARE, even though they're in the same office under the same group. And they can't
for billing.
So the doctor's office can't get in touch with TRICARE, and they've scheduled the surgery several times and had to cancel the surgery because they're not getting any call back from TRICARE. And if they go ahead and do it, it would be out of my pocket just because they need some few numbers down on a piece of paper.
Yep. So
and that's so ridiculous.
When the insurance companies, when a message is left with them and they don't call right back and they delay and they take delay, well, in the meantime, in this case, delay is causing more pain. So what they've told us to do is to just go through the emergency room. You'll have the same provider, but it'll be emergency care service. So we went and looked up TRICARE to see what it would cost to go through the emergency room channel instead of our regular set it up channel through referral to referral. I think it's $77 or something. So we're going to go ahead and get it done to get her out of pain. And then we'll try to fight the insurance fiasco later. Maybe they can backdate and see that we tried, or maybe they won't. It's just $77. So anyway, then, had it been $700
at that point, I just pay the money and be done with it.
Right.
But it prolongs the situation,
and it makes it more difficult
with all the technology and advancements. Why they can't get in touch with each other?
Now we have
a few numbers to enter into a computer.
There's a lot of good healthcare providers in this area. We have Vanderbilt Health here. Everybody's heard of Vanderbilt Health, right? Vanderbilt's a huge medical college up near Nashville. Well, Vanderbilt Health and outpatient clinics owned and operated and ran by Vanderbilt Health. They're here. There's a lot of them. So there's not that there's any lack of options. It's just TRICARE doesn't have them listed in their database. Now, why? Why not? I can't speak to that. But we need to figure out why. We need to get more of these local providers listed as providers in their database so they can be added. Now, they can be added, and it shouldn't be that much to do. They call as a provider. You can call as a beneficiary, or you can call as a provider. If they call as a provider, it has a little more weight. They did that. They left a message, but they leave early on Friday. So
it seems to me that before all this technology, things happened a lot faster.
They happened faster, yeah.
How does that work? Please explain that to me.
Yeah, so the care is being held up because of a technicality with the insurance. The insurance is there. They just don't have it listed or locked into their little
So we'll just have to go a different route and go through the emergency room.
But that's our soapbox, is the aggravation with how slow insurance companies react to a need when you're in a crisis or a semi-crisis.
So I guess you just got to know how to suck it up, buttercup.
Suck it up, buttercup.
Is what it is.
So, hey, we have ran a little over. We were trying to keep it under an hour with the Super Bowl. Everybody wants to get to the Super Bowl. We're going to have it on, but we're probably not going to be paying much attention.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles? Okay. I guess we're rooting for the Eagles. I'm rooting for the running back.
I don't care. Well. I'll be cooking dinner.
Yep. So we'll have it on, I guess.
Some fried potatoes and some kielbasa.
Yeah.
Whoop!
Yep.
Delicioso.
Yeah.
So, another thing I wanted to mention, because someone had emailed me and said they weren't able to comment during our live stream because they're not a member. So you don't have to be a member to make a comment. You need to be a subscriber to make a comment.
Right.
And to subscribe is free. Mm-hmm. The membership does cost money. There's 2 levels for that. One is 5, one is 10. Mm-hmm. But you do not have to be a member to make comments. Correct. And to subscribe is free. So I just wanted to clear that up for the people that didn't know. And again, always check your subscription, because sometimes they unsubscribe you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people like to be notified when a video is out. So if you do subscribe, when it asks you which notifications you want, just click all and it'll let you know when there's a new video or when we're going live.
It'll take care of it for you.
And sometimes even if you are subscribed, it doesn't give you the notifications, so you can unsubscribe and resubscribe. You know, technology is so much fun, and sometimes you got to trick it and play all these games. I also wanted to thank all our members for joining us this week for our chat. We love spending time with you guys. You are super special. We
thank
love
you guys.
all our subscribers, our members, and all our lovely moderators. Thank you so much. You guys keep this chat nice.
And we even have prayers for our dislikers.
Yep, pray for everybody. But thank you again, members, for keeping us up to date, putting links in the chat, and keeping all the drama out of here. We appreciate you, because everybody just wants to have a positive time, spread love and cheer, be good to each other.
Valentine's Day.
Yep. Let Cupid hit you with that arrow. Show the love to everybody. It makes a difference in your life, and it's good for your health.
Love your neighbors like you love yourself.
Yep. It's not always easy, but it's what we're supposed to do.
It's
so if you're having a hard time with somebody, start praying about it, and maybe God will change your heart, their heart, somebody's heart, and things will pan out. And if somebody is just that toxic, put some space in between. Boundaries are good, but it doesn't cost you anything to forgive somebody, and you don't have to do it to their face, because forgiveness is for you. That's your gift.
Fences make good neighbors.
You're letting them off your hook, but they'll still be on God's hook. So,
hey, on your way out, if you would, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm. If you enjoyed the content today, it helps us out. We appreciate that. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just go, hey, on your way out, turn that little empty thumbs up button to a solid button, and you're good to go.
Oh, yeah.
Until next Sunday.
Yep. Enjoy the Super Bowl and love everybody, and smile and wave and be positive.
Stay positive. We love you guys. Thanks for coming out.
Peace.
See you next time.